Hello, hello.
Hello, everyone.
I wanted you to say hello, if you would. Well, it's me, Mark, and it's Mondays with Mark. And I thought today we would do a little, because I never told anybody really about me, and I've been getting some questions, about me. So I thought we'd do like a little like impromptu Q&A. I pulled a couple questions that people had asked me, and I wrote them down, and I guess I'll answer them. But it's kind of improper. It's not, I didn't really plan this or anything. I thought I was just going to do like a getting to know me kind of a thing. But I did pull a couple questions, and I thought it might be a little bit interesting because I have asked people on YouTube questions about themselves, and I found it to be very, very interesting. So anyway, a little bit about myself, because people were saying, we don't know anything about your past or your history or anything. I was born and raised in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I have fond memories of Pittsburgh. I left it many years ago, but it is hometown for me. It's a beautiful city. If you've never been there, you really should check it out. It's wonderful. I do like it. I was born to an Italian Catholic family. But there was also Irish in my family. My mom had a little bit of Irish in her and Italian, but my mother was adopted. So we have no information about her parents or my biological grandparents. So I'm thinking I'm probably a mix, but definitely Italian and a little bit of Irish there. On my mother's side, we were Roman Catholics. And on my father's side, we were Lutherans, Missouri Synod Lutherans. So I would go to Mass on Saturday nights, and I would go to church Sunday mornings. And religion for me was very interesting because, they're both Christian-based religions, Lutheran and Catholic, but there were differences as well. And I don't know, what it brought about was just a spirituality, I will say, because I was always interested in religion and all kinds of religions. I studied a little bit about the earth religions and Wicca. I did some studying about that. I found it to be very interesting. And I remember my mom telling me about Buddha and all kinds of stuff. So I have a mix of religion in me. I just call myself spiritual. We'll just leave it at that. But I was an only child. I'm trying to think of what would be interesting. I'm an only child. There's only one of me. I have no siblings. No. I'm always jealous of people like Steven. Steven has a brother and a sister. I always wondered what it would have been like to grow up with a brother or sister. But there's just me, only child. One of my favorite things I like to do is travel, and I have traveled a lot in this country. I never went abroad outside of Canada. I went a few times to Canada. But I got to see a lot of this country, and I plan to see more. One of my favorite trips of all time was when I went cross country with my friend Amy. We drove from the East Coast to the West Coast, and we took 2 weeks to do it, and we didn't even have a plan. We just kind of went up and down and went everywhere. It was really nice. It was cool. We saw Kansas City, went to Roswell, New Mexico, and the Grand Canyon. We went to Vegas. It was a very nice trip, but that's one of my favorite things to do. I love to travel and see new things and experience new things. A couple questions I have received. This one is funny because not only did some viewers ask this, but like people in my everyday life ask this all the time. Are you from the South? You have an accent. I never thought I had an accent, but I've been asked this so many times. No, I'm not from the South. I was born and raised in Pittsburgh, but I did live in Florida for a while, and I do have family in Florida too. I lived in Florida as a baby for a while, and also later on in life, I lived there in Clearwater for about a year. But no, I'm not from the South. Do you think that I have an accent?
I think you sound different, but I don't think you sound Southern. Yeah, there's a couple choice words that you like yins instead of y'all.
That's a Pittsburgh thing, yins.
Like whether it's y'all, yins, or yous. Well, that's local around here.
Yeah, I never heard of that before until I moved here. Yous.
I think that's
how are yous guys doing?
Yeah,
But Pittsburgh is yins.
It's yins.
The Stillers.
Yeah.
Yins.
But
we're going down to the south side.
But I wouldn't say Southern.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say, but I've been asked that so many times. It's so funny. What do you do? They meant professionally. I am a chef. I'm a certified chef, pastry chef by trade. I've worked in the restaurant field, food service industry my entire life. I pretty much dedicated my whole life to that industry, and I can't really imagine working in any other industry. I do love it. It can be testing at times, but I do love it. The majority of my professional career, I worked as a savory chef. There were not a lot of jobs to be had solely as a pastry chef. But most of the places I worked, I doubled. I was a savory chef and a pastry chef in most of the places I work. But I do love my job. I love cooking. I love baking. And I love the food service industry from the front of the house to the back of the house. I love it. Bartending, hosting, even waiting tables. I did that for a good many years too. I just like the industry. So that is what I do professionally. And this next one is funny too. Okay, what do you like to do? And I was like, what? And they're like, what are your hobbies? So anyway, I jotted a few things down because I have a lot of interests. But I think that the top interest, I first of all, I love horror movies. I used to collect them all on DVD. And we have binders of DVDs. And I would say a good 90% are horror movies.
Oh, it's 95. It's more.
I do like them. The campier, the better. I totally dig 80s, 80s horror movies and B-rated horror movies. I just like horror movies. I obviously love to bake and cook and travel. We talked about that already. Crafting and do it yourself, like that type of thing. I like pretty much anything creative, really, I guess. But I like to upcycle things. I like woodworking, and I love gardening and landscaping. I've just started planting my seeds for the garden, which I think we'll do in another video. That might be pretty cool to show what it looks like now, and then like later.
Yeah, once the ground thaws out and it gets spring.
So you have to wait for that one. We probably won't post that one until the fall after everything is. You can.
It'll be a minute. Stay tuned.
We could do maybe. I don't know. But anyway, I definitely love to garden and to do landscaping. Oh, this is one that's about my health. What actually is your diagnosis? That's a good question because as of this date, we are still waiting for an official diagnosis. I was diagnosed with RA about 2 months ago.
And RA is rheumatoid arthritis.
Rheumatoid arthritis. Yeah, rheumatoid arthritis, which sucks. But at least, I had a diagnosis. Osteoarthritis too in my ankles, my fingers, and my neck. I think that was the osteoarthritis as well. They're still running tests and they're still seeing how I react to some medications they put me on. Apparently, with the testing and the medication and ruling everything out, that's how they come up with an official diagnosis as well. But I've been tested for MS. I've been tested for so many things in this last year.
What did you run positive for? Malaria? There was something you tested.
Malaria?
Dengue fever? You tested positive for it was the exotic disease specialist.
It was like some
tropical forest
Well,
disease.
I know they gave me medication that was originally prescribed for people with malaria.
Well, you take an anti-malarial now.
I was like, what?
Yeah, the Plaquenil is. But you tested positive for like exposure to dengue fever
or something like that.
I'm like, and you just said you never left the country.
I know, right? I know. It was so funny. But then that came back negative.
Yeah.
All of the autoimmune diseases I've been tested for, HIV and hepatitis and all of that stuff, and it all came back negative. So it's still like, a guessing game. But I do know that people have waited years for an official diagnosis too. So the more research I've done, the more at peace I am with it. This is something that happens to a lot of people. So, but actually the only official diagnosis I have right now is RA. So we'll see what the rest brings. So I don't know. What is your favorite food? That was a funny question. Because, being a chef and everything, everybody thinks that I like really good food and, you know, exotic foods. And it's not. My, what do they call that? Like when you're going to be killed.
The electric chair last meal.
Yeah, my last meal. My last meal would be pizza and French fries. Honestly, would be. Sounds good right now. And I mean, like, you know, McDonald's, like deep fried French fries and like, you know, a good, just good sloppy pizza. That's my favorite food. It is. Nothing fancy. Well, yours is pretty basic too.
Oh yeah, chicken fingers and fries would be
chicken fingers and fries.
I have a nice palate.
If we die together, we can have chicken fingers, pizza, and fries.
Great, we can order from the same place.
Yeah,
we're dying. That's the bigger, more concerning issue.
Yeah, I think I'd be a little more.
And if we're being executed, that's
probably even more concerning.
There was probably a lead up.
Right.
Nevertheless, might as well wrap it up with chicken.
Yes. So. Right. But anyway, we thought, I kind of like this question and answering. I'm thinking that this could be another video. I keep looking at Steven. I'm sorry. You guys, look at you. I think we could do this another time. Maybe a more formal one another time. But,
yeah, if you have, well, there were some that popped through that were for both of us.
Yeah.
And some were just for you.
Yeah.
And I had the channel up for a year and a half, so other ones popped up that I kind of picked off as they came.
Yeah.
But because the channel's a little bit older, and because you weren't involved as much
at the beginning, yeah.
So there's some that have kind of trickled along the way.
Yeah.
So if people have more,
yeah, that sounds good. We could do that.
They could leave them if they have more for you or me, and then we could, whoever you want to know more about.
Ask me anything.
Either Mark can do another one, I can do one, or we could do one
together. That's so exciting.
It's all about the viewer. So we'll just, whatever you guys want, we'll do.
Yes. And that was, I have one more question. I don't know how we are on time. I could do it another time.
We're okay.
We're okay. Well, this one is, I guess, a little more personal. I don't know. But is Steve your first boyfriend? That was an interesting question. Huh?
Yeah, that is an interesting question, isn't it?
Yes, he is. I saved myself for him.
He walked right out of a monastery and into my arms.
I did. No.
Well, you weren't like some raging slut or anything.
No, no. I wasn't. You know, actually, I wasn't. I was really not a promiscuous person at all.
Who are you to judge me?
No, I did. I had one other serious relationship, and we were together for a long time, 13, maybe 14 years, prior to Steve. I mean, and this is years and years ago. And I dated, I'm going to say a handful of times, that maybe 4 other times in my entire life. So that's about it. But it takes a while to find the one, right?
Yes, it does.
It does.
Yeah, and I did a lot of trying.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
You did a little bit less.
I did a little less. I did.
Yeah.
But anyway, no, he was not my first boyfriend, but he's the last.
Mm-hmm. Especially since we're going to the chair together.
Yeah, and we're going to have pizza, chicken fingers, and French fries.
Sounds good.
But anyway, I guess that'll wrap it up for this. Thank you so much for watching. And actually, thank you for asking me these questions, too. It has been really... This YouTube thing has been new for me, and it's been very, very nice, humbling, and it makes me feel good when people are interested in my little life. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for asking questions. Remember to hit the subscribe button. Our next goal is 300 subscribers, and we're almost there.
8 more.
8 more, and we're there.
Wouldn't it be a nice way to finish the week?
Wouldn't it? It would.
It'd be great to finish the night, but
yeah, the week, the month.
The week,
you know?
Yeah, starting the 3rd month. So.
Yeah. But anyway, yes, thank you again for watching. Please hit subscribe. Check us out on Instagram.
SmokeySteveAndMarc on Instagram.
SmokeySteveAndMarc on Instagram. And thanks again.
Bye.
Bye-bye.